Well, good morning. Good morning, and welcome to the Morning Report. My name is Willie Lawson. The Morning Report is a production of fightbackmedia.com, 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 and fightbackmediatv.com. Again, we are thrilled, gassed that you are here with us this glorious day. It is 87 degrees Fahrenheit here in West Central Florida. It's going to rain this morning, I think. And I got to get out of here in a little bit because I got to go take the old microwave to the disposal center because they tell me the wife tells me I just can't take the old microwave, which is actually not broken, and throw it in the trash to be picked up in the trash. I can't do that. I just can't put it in the trash can. I bet you I could. But she's saying that no, she doesn't want me to do that. So I got to take it to the disposal center. The only thing good about that is I don't have to pay for it except to drive over there and wait in line. And then I get to drive up and throw it in the bin myself. Self-service. Anyway, in any case, again, thank you for being with us this glorious morning. You like the jacket? You guys like the jacket? Who are watching on the video? Some of you are going to the Fightback Media page, and I appreciate that. If you are watching the video, just up there on the page is the audio, and you can go back and watch audio and listen to audios way back to the beginning of this project, pretty much. Some got deleted, I believe, because of we were running out of storage room on Spreaker, and we were in a financial tight, so we had to downsize for a minute, readjust, and move forward. But right now we've got 605 hours of morning reports. 605 hours. That's a lot. Of our 1,510 hours allotted. We're hoping to expand, but that expansion has more to do with you than us, really. We're going to need to upgrade at some point. And if you like what we do, let me know. And if you're willing to help out, just a little bit on a monthly basis. And that's the thing that we don't get. If everybody helps out a little bit, then we can all get a lot done. That was, I don't know. I was in the car yesterday, day before, and I was on 860 WGOL, and Mike Gallagher was on. I used to listen to 860 all the time when I had my show on 860 way back when, and Gallagher is on like the same time Glenn Beck is on, I guess. He's annoying. Is that the word? Yeah, annoying. And apparently they're having a fundraiser for actually a really super cause. It isn't Feeding America. It's one of those organizations that feeds hungry people around the world that actually does a pretty doggone good job. Most of those organizations have the food, so you don't need to send them. Like Feeding America doesn't need you to send them canned goods. They've got plenty of food. The idea is the sorting, the organization, and the delivering of said food to the right places. My wife and I have volunteered at least once at Feeding America, and I'm probably going to do it again here in the Tampa Bay area. And you probably should too. I'm a fan of what they do and how they do it. Anyway, Gallagher they're asking for money for this organization, and he's taken on this sort of Reverend Ike sort of thing, that he knows there are people out that God is touching people out there, and he knows that there are people who are supposed to give $1,000. It's probably true, but it just seemed like you're missing out, and you're excluding people. People who are thinking $1,000. I can't give $1,000. You know what gas costs now? You know what my electric bill is now? I can't give $1,000. So I'm not going to ask you for $1,000. I'm going to ask you for five. I'm literally going to ask you for a cup of coffee at Starbucks, or 2 cups of coffee at Dunkin'. Come on. That's it. That's it. That's all we're going to ask. And you know what? And we haven't asked for very much. I'm even, frankly, other than Cash App, uh, $ Fight Back Media, I don't even know. We used to have something on the website. I think I took it down. Um, that you could donate directly to our PayPal account. I think I took that down. I don't think you can find it. If you find it, it still works. But I think Cash App is better, faster, easier. Fight Back Media. And if you're watching the video, I think I'm going to try to put it there on the bottom of the screen right here at the Fight Back Media. Just $5, $3, $2. If enough people push, we can push anything. If enough people can get behind and push an Abrams tank, enough, if you have enough toddlers, they can push an Abrams tank. You know, it might take 500 of them, it may take 1,000 of them. But if you have enough toddlers, enough 4-year-olds, they can push an Abrams tank. The idea is that we don't need people to write checks for $100 a month or $200 a month. That would be lovely, but that's not necessary. $5, $3 a month, consistent, and you'd be surprised. You know, Paul and I have done a lot with very little, and the fact that we're on pretty much, you know, that we do this pretty much every day, and that we are on all the major platforms, all of it, and that we are, you know, we're playing stick and move with YouTube consistently and constantly. Just that fact that we were able to put, and our production is getting better and better and better and better, with very little. Imagine what we could do with your help. All right, listen, we're going to get to the stories. We're going to get to the stories. Get to the stories. Get to the stories. First of all, we're going to take a little break. We're back with more of the program right after these messages. All right. Well, welcome back and welcome to the program. We appreciate it. Let's get started with the stories. Let's get started with the stories. Let's get started with the story. Let me make sure I get to the right screen here. I got about 47 things open here. All righty. Tuesday, Elizabeth Cheney, who was, actually still currently is, a U.S. rep for the first district of Wyoming, got crushed in her primary election, in her bid for re-election in the primary. Absolutely 37-point drubbing. At the heels of her drubbing, and this is what's happening. And I'll tell you how I'm looking at it here in a second. On the heels of her drubbing in the Wyoming GOP congressional primary to Harriet Hagerman, incumbent Representative Liz Cheney revealed that she was thinking about a presidential bid. Cheney, who has been leading the charge against former President Trump in an ongoing J6 committee investigations, warned that Trump, quote, continues to pose a very grave threat and risk to our republic. The outgoing Congresswoman says that she will be a part of defeating Trump should he run again. This is what she said. I believe that Donald Trump continues to pose a very grave threat and risk to our republic, Cheney emphasized on NBC's Today. I think that defeating him is going to require a broad and united front of Republicans, Democrats, and Independents, and that's what I intend to be a part of. Host Savannah Guthrie asked Cheney if she was considering running for president, which the Wyoming Republican initially deflected. We've now got one major political party, my party, which has really become a cult of personality. And we've got to get this party back to a place that we are embracing the values and principles on which it's founded, Cheney said. She added, I will be doing whatever it takes to keep Donald Trump out of the Oval Office. Guthrie pressed, Savannah Guthrie, goodness, is pressed for a response on a presidential bid question asking, are you thinking about running for president? That's a decision I'm going to have to make in the coming months, Savannah. I am not going to make any announcements here this morning, Cheney replied, but it is something that I am thinking about, and I'll make the decision in the coming months. I read a tweet a little bit ago that said, that maybe she'll be like Ross Perot. You remember that? Ross Perot showed up and divided the Republican Party. Liz Cheney is a Democrat. She has to be. Why? Because that wing of the Republican Party is done. The Bush, Cheney, McCain wing of the Republican Party is out of power. And whenever anybody is, when we talk about these political pukes, well, they get fired up when they're out of power. That's when they make the most noise, when they are out of power. Because what they want more than anything is to be in power. What they want more than anything is to be in control. What they want more than anything is to get all the love, adoration, and the cash. That's what they want. That's what they want more than anything. And right now, Donald Trump is the Republican Party. As much as people may not like it, Donald Trump is the Republican Party. He's the only vehicle they have. And I'll tell you why. It's because for years, people like the Bushes, both dad and son, people like the McCains, people like the Cheneys, and a lot of Republicans basically started to act like Democrats in a lot of people's eyes. I know some of you don't understand that or believe that, but there are people out there who are watching right now, who are listening right now, understand what I'm saying to you. They started acting like Democrats. It was that scene from Animal Farm where the farm animals are looking through the window into the house, and the humans are there and the pigs are there, and you really can't tell the difference. I am going to be very careful with comparing Donald Trump to Ronald Reagan. Be very, very careful doing that because I don't think Trump's a Reagan. But I think that he is possibly the person for this time. I don't think he's a person for all time. I think the only person for all times was Christ. And Donald Trump is not Christ. He is not the savior of anything or anybody. But the person to do this particular job right now, probably Trump. And I'll tell you what, because the left is terrified of Donald Trump. Because Donald Trump has figured something out. He's figured out that he can relate directly to you and to me. He understands that we are not, for the good or the bad, not led around by lofty statements and being a fantastic orator. For the good or the bad, people are devolving in that situation, and they want more straight talk. I have said for years that communication is more important than professionalism. Are you getting your point across? Do people understand what you're saying? That's the most important thing. If people don't understand what you're saying, if they've got to get a thesaurus out, if they have to take a history class, then you're probably hiding something. And it isn't just me that believes that. There's a lot of people who believe that. If I need an advanced degree to be able to nod my head and really understand what you're saying to me, then you're not communicating to most people because most people don't have advanced degrees. Most of the people who do the dirty work in this country do not have advanced degrees because they're busy doing the dirty work. They're busy picking up trash. They're busy working at the gas station. They're busy working at the convenience store. They're busy mining coal, digging for oil. They're doing the dirty work. They're doing the work that keeps this place, our country, rolling. Rolling. So some people can sit home and order on Amazon and DoorDash and never have to cook, even in the house they bought with this chef's kitchen they never use because they don't know how. There are people doing just that. There are people somewhere, you know what, in chef's clothes and Crocs, busting their ass in the kitchen. So some puke who bought $1.5 million house with a chef's kitchen can order DoorDash. Donald Trump speaks to a lot of those people. Now, people may not like it, but it's the truth. Donald Trump speaks to a lot of those people, and Liz Cheney does not. And Liz Cheney does not. The women on The View do not. Barack Obama anymore does not. The truth about Barack Obama is that he got a pass because he's black. I know it's a terrible thing to say. I know. But I warned you about this in 2007. If you could go back to my Blog Talk Radio shows, which by the way are finally all deleted. I didn't delete them. Blog Talk Radio finally decided, since this guy is not going to pay them anymore because he doesn't want to be on their platform anymore, we're going to go ahead and delete his whole channel. So all those shows, all of them on that platform are gone. It was kind of jarring when I looked, because I mean they didn't email me or anything. I just happened to go look. It's all gone. 2000 March of 2008, and more than 10 years of work. How it is. Welcome to the internet, baby. Anyway, Liz Cheney is absolutely no threat to Donald Trump. Liz Cheney is absolutely no threat. Has no really hope of becoming president of the United States. Imagine Liz Cheney on the same stage in a debate as Donald Trump. Really? I would like to think that Trump would be a gentleman, that he would be polite, that he would stick to facts, that he would crush her like a grape. He would squash her like a hot grape. And that would invigorate his base. This attack is continually attacking Trump. All that does, I'm going to give you the secret. If you're on the left and you're watching, I'm going to give you the secret. All this is doing is galvanizing Trump's base. All it's doing, it's galvanizing Trump's base. It's getting their spines more full of steel. Because they don't trust you. They don't trust Joe Biden. They don't trust Kamala Harris. They don't trust CNN. They don't trust MSNBC, and they don't trust these people and these legacy entities because of Donald Trump. That trust started to deteriorate 2 decades, 20 years ago. And the more these legacy entities push back against a person or a ideology that people think are for them, the more they do that, the less trust that the average people, the average Joe I'm talking about, has in government, has in media. They have absolutely no trust in this and this and thing we're doing here in social media. None, zero. Especially with how people like things like Facebook and YouTube and Twitter all operate. Frankly, word to the left, you played yourself. You played yourself. And now what's going to happen is that Trump's going to come back like the freaking conquering hero. I don't know how it's going to work out. I don't have a magic ball. I don't have the 6 numbers it takes to be a billionaire this weekend from Lotto. I don't have those either. My gut tells me that Trump comes back as a conquering hero. If you want him to win, indict him. If you want Trump to win, indict him. Just saying. This Cheney, I know that you're defending the Cheneys and the Bushes and the McCains and that wing of the party. Go and play with your grandkids. Retire. Put them big feet up. Did you see her feet? Girl got some mud mashers. Put your feet up. Relax. Write a book. You're going to. You're going to get calls from CNN and MSNBC to be a contributor. You're going to make some money. You got this huge pension coming, massive pension coming. Just chill. Trump can only be president for 4 years. 4 more years, I'm guessing. You survived the first 4. You did. And you'll survive the second 4. Just like we will survive the next 2 years of Joe Biden. We will. Now, I don't know what kind of condition we're going to be in because I can't see off into the future. I don't know where that right there leads when it gets around the corner. Can't see it. But I'm pretty confident that we'll be okay. All right, let's take a little break. And there we go. Take a little break. We're back with more of the Morning Report right after these messages. All right, folks. Yeah, I kind of went on a little bit. I do. Something that I want to make sure that you're aware of, because a lot of times, especially with the left, things that make sure okay, I'm good. The things that happen in Europe sometimes slip into our nation because of, well, I don't know, because of the left. This is an article from Breitbart. Any excuse to grab more power. The European Union wants a centralized civil protection force to fight climate change. Yeah. Here's the story. A senior Eurocrat has called for a, quote, civil protection force, end quote, directly under the control of Brussels to be established to fight the impact of climate change. The European Union Crisis Management Czar has called for the creation of a, quote, civil protection force, end quote, directly under Brussels control for the ostensive purpose of fighting the impact of climate change. The suggestion has prompted one MEP to accuse Brussels of using any excuse to grab more power. The union's green agenda policy has already resulted in chaotic scenes in the likes of places like the Netherlands. According to a report by Politico, crisis management chief Juanes Neneric has claimed that the impact of climate change is having on EU member states is increasing, something which he believes now mandates intervention from Brussels. Well, the world temperatures are changing in such a fact that we need to put together an army. Yeah. Nigel Farage says the EU absolutely wants its own army. They do. The EU boss says we have a growing sense that more Europe is needed in civil protection, while suggesting that the EU treaty should be changed so as to hand Brussels the power to establish a force that would be able to provide this protection, quote unquote. Such a sentiment, however, has been outright rejected by critics. However, with one elected representative within the European Parliament, Christian Therese, MEP, warning Breitbart Europe that the EU's, quote, unelected bureaucrats are using any excuse to grab more power, which is what unelected bureaucrats do. We've seen that here. These European bureaucrats are not the solution, but the cause of many problems that the EU is facing. But the deeply damaging energy crisis is just proof of that. Tahir said, emphasizing that the EU bigwigs don't want to be accountable to the people. Of course not, because they know better. Handing these irresponsible and unaccountable bureaucrats even more power would just simply be irresponsible. The European conservatives and reformist groups politicians continue. When Europe needs a rebirth of national and sovereign democracy with creativity and power for local people rather than a one-size-fits-all bureaucratic control from the center of Brussels, he went on to say. I could take this very same phrase and goes, what the United States needs is a rebirth of national and sovereign democracy with creativity and power for local people rather than a one-size-fits-all bureaucratic control from the center of Washington, D.C. I could use that phrase. Dutch farmers are raising hell. Police have arrested 100 of them as protesters vowed continued resistance against the EU's green agenda. Apart from calling for even more power to be handed to Brussels in order to, quote, allow it to build its civil protection force, the NERC also is keen to emphasize that more is needed to be done to slash emissions in order to, quote, prevent further deterioration of the climate. However, while those in Brussels might see no issue in asking or demanding EU nation states reduce emissions, those within the affected EU states certainly have, with farmers in the Netherlands in particular being put to the sword for the purpose of fulfilling the EU green agenda. In response to hardline nitrogen emission targets put in place by the EU, the Dutch government has begun implementing measures that could see up to 30% of livestock farms in the country forced to close. What happens when that happens? There's less food. There's less food. And the government controls the food. When the government controls the food and the healthcare, what do we have? Chaos. We have to pay attention to what's going on around us to make sure when this nonsense come to fruition and comes to our shores, we understand it and we're ready for it. My name is Willie Lawson. This is the Morning Report, published on fightbackmedia.com, 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 and fightbackmediatv.com. And until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. We'll see you when we see you. Bye-bye now.